Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm Andy Marks.
And I'm Byron Saucer.
Byron, the show's about the kids. It's rarely about us. But every now and then you need to take a pause and just look
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, look at the situation. And, I got to notice that one of the two noted prognosticators on this panel is undefeated without a wrong pick in 3 weeks.
Is that right?
That's right.
3 straight weeks.
Well, this would be the third.
Ah, okay. I got you. Well, it's good that someone's keeping up then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And an undefeated week for you also last week. Congratulations. It really is, I can tell you from experience, a tremendous accomplishment. So let's talk about this week's games. We have Forest making I guess they've been a 6A school once before.
Yeah.
They're making their 6A debut this year. They got a school from Jacksonville coming in, Mandarin. What do you know about them?
Not a lot, to tell you the truth. I talked to David Hodges a little bit. He went up and scouted them last week during his bye week. I think Forest goes into this with some confidence. They had a bye week, which really helped them get well. They've struggled with a lot of injuries this year. I think Donald Webb will be back full speed. Eric Hyman at linebacker. James Reed was a little banged up. So all those guys back. Another week of James Brooks running plays in the quarterback position. I like Forest in this one, 27-17.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Forest also. I'm picking for I don't know what reason a lower scoring game, 17-14. That district is an interesting district. We've got nothing but Jacksonville schools in there along with Forest. It seems like Orange Park has been on paper thought to be the team to beat, but a big win by Forest here would make a statement. I think we'll see how that one goes. And another big game in the county. We got a red hot Denellen team at home. They're hosting a school from Inverness, Citrus High School. I don't know about you. I think this is a game Denellen should handle.
Yeah, I think so. Another district game for these guys. Denellen could really put themselves in the driver's seat here with a 3-0 start in district. I think they'll do it. Bubba Black continues to get it done. He should go over 1,000 yards Friday night. And the defense, I tell you, averaging just allowing, I think, just under 160 yards a game. That's going to get it done. I think Citrus is a little outmanned here. I'll take Denellen 41-13.
Yeah, I agree. Denellen generally does not have much trouble with those Citrus County football teams. Citrus is a notch below Crystal River, who Denellen will play an important district game with later in the year. I think Crystal River beat Citrus 27-0 last week. Citrus has a new coach, kind of a personnel shift happening. I'm looking for this one to be a breeze for the Tigers, 35-7.
All right, moving along, two new district foes, North Marion at Bellevue. Now, these two teams certainly play every year, but now even more at stake in the district. It's hard to really pick against North Marion right now. I mean, they just seem to get better and better every week. Bellevue got a bye last week, which they sorely needed. I don't know what to expect from the Rattlers. I don't know if they'll stay in that double wing or they'll get out of it for good or maybe go a little here and a little there. But I just think North Marion has too much. That defense is playing very well. Cortland Thomas, Latavian Sweet up front, Devin Brandt, linebacker, Brandon Carl on the back end of that thing. Just speed all over the place. I like Chucky Looney, LaTroy Pittman, Jamie Gilmore. Just too much for the Colts. I'm going to take them 49-6.
Yeah, Mike Bowe, I think, is a smart coach out there in Bellevue, and he's got 2 weeks to prepare for North Marion. If there's any flaws, if there's any little holes to be found, I think he's the kind of guy who could find it. But what he can't coach his way around is the fact that he's going to be overmanned all over this field. And I just don't see this being a close game. North Marion's had their heart set on 42-0 scores because that's the number of their starting defensive lineman from last year, Kyle Van Wagner. I wouldn't be surprised to see that result come up this week. I'm going to go with 42-0 Colts. That brings us to Lake Weir, who was on the wrong end of a North Marion blowout last week. Yeah. Lake Weir has a pretty big game in their district because everybody seems to think that Gainesville is kind of the team to beat in that district. I think Lake Weir and Springstead both probably believe they're the team that's going to be in second place.
Yeah, this could be a dicey game for Lake Weir. Springstead knows what they like to do. They like to hammer the football. They coach the system down there, and this could be a tough one. This is a road game. This is where Lake Weir can't get ahead and then let a team play back into it like they did with Brooksville Central. I look for them to win it, but in a squeaker, 31-28.
Yeah, I haven't seen Springstead this year. They've generally run the option, take some disciplined defense. That's going to put Lake Weir to the test. I don't think they played undisciplined last week against North Marion. They just kind of got beat up by a really good team. On the other side of the coin, Springstead is generally not the quickest team out there, and Lake Weir has a quarterback that you need some foot speed to keep up with. That would be Tracy Curry. I like Lake Weir in this one. I'm going 28-14, but I agree with you. It's definitely a trap game. They got to be careful. They got to be on guard. Maybe suffering that blowout loss last week will get them in line to play a good game this week. And we got Trinity Catholic has seized command of their district. They have a district game that they'll be favored in, and they're going to Keystone Heights to play it.
Yeah, now we're used to this matchup in regional baseball, but this is the first year for football. I think Trinity's got too much. I think they got healthy last week, and I think maybe Gray Crow's starting to figure it out at quarterback. Kedron Boone had a monster game. The defense seems to be coming around. This is too much for Trinity. I like them 52-13.
Yeah, we've got a small rural school against a private school here in a much larger place. Trinity has, I think, better players at most positions, and if they play the right game, that will turn out on the scoreboard. So I'm going to go with 40-7, a blowout. Vanguard is going to Citizens Field to play against Eastside. This is a matchup in the last few years that would have not been pretty, but Vanguard's given us some reason to think twice now.
Yeah, this is their second trip up to Citizens Field, too. They took Buchholz to overtime before losing that one. Big win over Palatka last week, 40-0. Eastside is 2-3, but boy, what a tough schedule. And they just lost a heartbreaker to Gainesville last week. I think they'll be ready to play. I'm going to take Eastside in this one. As good as Vanguard's looked, and Leo Burgess running the ball is probably the most positive thing coming out of this. Now that they can kind of hammer it away, they don't have to go to the air as much. But I don't know if that defense can slow down Eastside, which is stock full of athletes once again. 31-20 Eastside.
Yeah, I think we're both guilty. I know I am of selling Vanguard a little bit short. They've generally shown up and played better over the last 3-4 weeks than anybody has expected them to. Here's another situation where on paper it doesn't look like a great spot for Vanguard, but there are a bunch of overachievers this year that are playing good football. I'm going with Eastside by 2 touchdowns. I hope it's a closer game than that. It's really a great story that Alex Castaneda is putting together over there. And another great story, Lyle Livingood, the coach of Westport High School, coming off of their first victory. They are hitting the road this week to go to Brooksville. This is one of those teams on their schedule that maybe we felt like they've had a chance to beat.
Yeah. I mean, the loser of this one falls to the cellar in that district, and I think the Westport kids tasting victory last week. I think they can sustain that. Larry Rogers looked really good at quarterback. I like Jose Burgos, out of the backfield as a receiver and a runner. If the offensive line can make a little more progress, and I know Lyle thinks they're headed that way, if they can get just a little better each week, I think they can do a little damage. I'm going to take them in a close one, 20-14.
Michael Buffer, the famed boxing ringside announcer, when undefeated fighters clash, he likes to say somebody's O has got to go. We're both coming off an undefeated week. I'm going to take the other side on this one. Westport, I'm hoping that Lyle Livingood gets them properly mentally prepared. If they get too proud of themselves for beating Umatilla, they're going to lose this game. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm going to pick Central. I'm going to pick a wide margin, 30-14. You guys go ahead and prove me wrong, and I won't be upset at all. And let's talk about the Crusaders.
Yeah, the Crusaders, this one got swapped up. They were supposed to hit the road, but Eastland had a problem with their field. So they're coming up to Ocala. That doesn't improve their chances. They were probably outmanned anyway. I like the Crusaders big. Again, they beat Heritage last week 62-0. This could be a similar type score. We'll go 54-13.
Yeah, man, what's not to like? I think their big test is coming up, the following week?
I believe so, with Faith Baptist, yeah.
Right. This team doesn't look like it has anything for OCA, and most of the smaller private schools at their level, that's probably the case. OCA is a class team now, and that's a kudos to Butch Etheridge, who's really built this in the last 3 years. I'm going with 42-7. We will be back on Monday morning to talk about this in our Friday Night Rewind show. In the meantime, you can stick with Ocala.com on Friday nights. We'll have live footage from a couple of different sites. We will also have a live scoreboard at the website where you can get pretty close to real-time updates as to what's happening out there.